Hey there everyone, my name is Monkey Shrapnel from the Guys Who Play Games, and we're here with the sequel to a very beloved game in, I guess, platforming history, Donkey Kong Country 3! Woo! This game, unfairly I think, is kind of like the black sheep of the franchise, or at least of the original trilogy. This game doesn't really do anything wrong, but it got released after the Nintendo 64 came out and is, I guess, a lot more, how do I put this? A lot more divisive, whatever you want to call it, as a result. Oh geez, let's, yeah. But yeah, Donkey Kong Country 3, look what we're playing. By the way, can I just say, I love this little, like, intro, this file select here. It's a VCR being put into a... I'm not actually sure what it's being put into, though. I don't know enough about old technology to know what this is. It's not, obviously not a VCR or anything, but they are VCR tapes. Anyways, yeah, we got stereo, mono, stand, and stuff like that. Oh! How many languages are there? Just English and French, yeah. Let me remember. L-R. So yeah, what I just did there, so I'm kinda just jumping into it. I have started cheat mode. In this game, unlike the first two games, you can enter cheat codes by just pressing a button combo on a file, and then from there you can just type in letters to enter a code. Now, there's a bunch of codes you can enter that make the game easier, do other cool things, but for the purposes of this playthrough, I'll be keeping it vanilla, so I'm just gonna type jerkv, and you get that and then if you enter you get Dixie crying for some reason, because I guess that's better. There's some really nice codes that are like, don't even really make the game easier, but are just nice quality of life. Like, if you enter a save, the game will automatically save after beating any level, so you don't have to run around and save. It's just auto, which is a nice little thing. There's other cool codes, but I'll probably save that for like either like the end or like a bonus episode or something. Cause I did not know it actually faded out if you hung around the file select for long enough, because I don't think I've ever actually done that before. That's funny. But yeah, I'm planning on doing like a big old like bonus episode or two at the end of the series, where I'm basically gonna do like, I'll probably do like glitches and maybe like cheat codes and stuff. This game actually has the most meaningful cheat codes, because there's two cheat codes actually you can enter that will increase the percentage of the game once you've beaten it. The standard like 100% is 103%, but there's two codes you can enter that will increase it to 104% and 105% respectively. But for now, I'm just gonna enter my name, because another cool thing this game has, it's the only one that has like actual names for your file select. I believe you can even enter like numbers and stuff, which is cool. It's nice. Pokemon didn't know how to enter numbers for like the longest time. Concern it. Mosh. Anyways, right at the start of the game, we get this little cutscene here, basically, where you can just kind of it just strolls you on over to Wrinkly, and we walk in. Oh look, it's Wrinkly doing aerobics or something. Hello there, it's me, Mrs. Wrinkly Kong. I'm not doing voices. Found life too hectic at school, because, you know, she just decided I'm not a teacher anymore. But yeah, basically, as she's telling you, you just save the game here. Unlike the Donkey Kong Country 2, saving the game is free once again. I guess akin to the first game. Although, unlike the first two games, there's a lot more stuff to do in this game, in terms of like side content. This game's a lot, I guess the best way to put it is it's a lot more RPG in a sense, because there's actually like trading and the like, and you actually have you actually have to buy stuff in order to get 100%. So we'll walk over to Bazaar's General Store. Hello, young Dixie. How does everyone know her name? But whatever. He's Bazaar, and he tells us there's a bunch of bears scattered around the island. They all help us out in one way or another. Check them out so you can see them. And this is what I'm talking about. There's three things well, 2 things we can do here, and then we can also leave. We can buy the shell, and we can buy the mirror. Of course, we obviously can't afford them. You gotta be joking. It's one of my favorite little things about this game, is that, like, you've got all these options, and, like, there's a bunch of different dialogue. It's like, you gotta be joking. I don't think it's gonna stay here very long. There's, like, and it's, like, a little bit of RNG. You can, like, get different text boxes depending on what you're doing. He's open 24 hours, because, you know, haha, general store. But anyways, we're gonna pop into our pal Funky Itchy. I guess I'll swim around here, but this is the cool thing about this game, is you can actually, like, you have free movement in certain areas. Mainly on the overworld, but in a couple places on, like, subworlds as well. You can actually, like, fully swim around. Of course, there's no reason to swim down here, because there's nothing you can do. There is one thing you can do, then you have to enter a cheat code, but that's for later. Probably won't be doing that in the main playthrough. Anyways, we walk into Funky with his sweet little jazz theme. He's got a boat shop now instead of flying planes, and this is basically your transportation for the game. Once again, actually mandatory to do. He also gives us our pal Kitty Kong. Now, Kitty Kong, this is probably one of the bigger divisive things about this game, because everyone's like, oh, why Kitty sucks? Why can't we have DK or something like that? Or other things to that akin, I guess. But yeah, unlike the first 2 games, which I guess... The theme of this trilogy, I guess, in general, is that there's 2 themes, I guess. Is that well, I'm talking about not actual themes. I'm talking about in terms of, like, gameplay and, like, is that there's a lot of things that are in 2 of the games, but not 3 of them. And you'd be surprised how many minor little things are like that. Like, as a random example, Donkey Kong Country 1 and 3, I think I've mentioned this in other videos, that Donkey Kong Country 1 and 3 save your sound option, so you can set it to stereo and you don't have to set it again. But for some reason the second game doesn't, and I don't know why. They just forgot. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna go into our little motorboat. And now we can actually drive around the overworld. And if you hold the Y button, you move a little faster. You can also press, I think, X to honk your little horn. And before we even get going to starting to our first level, we're gonna walk over here to this little shore here and kaboom our way into a cave called Bounty Beach. And we get to see a little a fancy little cave here, and I wasn't paying attention. So I guess we're getting kicked out because I'm too busy talking. Basically, these caves are just Simon Says, and we'll see what happens when we complete it. You don't have to time it to the same rhythm, but it's like sometimes it doesn't take button inputs. But yeah, we get a banana bud because obviously they're monkeys, so we gotta have a bird literally made of like the birds look kind of creepy. They look like a halfway peeled banana, and they have like weird bulging eyes. But I mean, they're banana birds. Lake Orangutanga, because haha, orangutans are a type of monkey. Ho he ho ho ho. We'll see what banana birds do later. They don't do actually anything until the very end of the game when you suddenly have to get all of them. But for now, let's, enough stalling. Let's actually get into our very first level. Oh! Do I still have cheat codes active? I totally do! I had a cheat code active. That's hilarious. So I've disabled my cheats now properly. Whoopsie daisies. Yeah, because I tend to fuck around. Anyways, yeah. So you can go on top here, get 2 lives right off the bat. And, run around. So, there's a lot of minor gameplay differences between Dixie and Kitty. We won't be getting into all of them right away because I'll do them as we see fit. But for the one big thing that you'll notice right off the bat is that they have different team throws now because of their different sizes. Because team throws still in the game, but like they're different. Like obviously Dixie's not going to throw a huge ass fucking kitty way up in the sky. So instead, she kind of walks slowly and doesn't jump as high when carrying him. But if you throw him, he goes crashing through the ground and can break through certain floors that look obvious and caches because. Once again, like I keep saying, just like the first game, there's now underground caches again that you can break open. Although, unlike the first game, you can only do them with Kitty, like breaking through them with Dixie throwing Kitty. But still, oh, actually, you can also break them with TNT, which is a new feature, I guess. But we won't be seeing that for a long ass time. Jeez, I'm just kind of blazing through. So yeah, we just did our first bonus game. Same thing as the second game. You do bonus games, you get a bonus coin. And then it lets you, you know, unlock certain things. Also, we killed our first coin pal, or whatever you want to call him. He's called Coin. And unlike the second game that has the DK coins that are just hidden around, and you have to look for them, in this game, Coin is typically not all that well hidden, and instead the challenges with dealing with him is that you have to basically find a way to defeat him by hitting his back with a DK coin, or a steel keg, as it were. And now we're seeing a new bonus game with this game, where you have to collect green bananas that appear in random locations. And this is one of the very few notable cases where RNG actually impacts the game. And because of this is, I guess, a little less popular of a game to speedrun because of that, because you can kind of screw it because of random luck with the bananas. Because there's like certain predetermined locations where they can appear, and you know, obviously it's faster, they appear in the right spots. We also have a new animal buddy in this game. Ooh, let me... Ellie the elephant! Ellie can use her nose to suck over barrels, lift them up, jump on big enemies that Dixie can't, although Kitty can in this game. And we don't get to see what else he can do for now, but because that's just our first little taste of him. So we switch over to Kitty here, and we can toss Dixie up here to get the coin and some more bananas. So you may have noticed that even in just this first level, there's been a lot of hidden items. And that's a huge theme of this game. There are a ton of invisible items all around levels. Like, I don't think there's very many levels in this game that don't have hidden items in them, which is quite different from the first two games. The first game itself does not have any hidden items at all, outside of like things that are literally hidden off screen. And while the second game does have hidden items, they're very few and far in between. So it's a big thing with this game. Like typically, like a lot of times, it's just like in like right out of like reach or something. Like, I'm actually surprised that coin's not like invisible, to be honest. But yeah, the gimmick this level, and this is a big thing with this game, is that unlike the first two games, like the first two games have various gimmicks, but this game really ramps it up once you get, especially later in the game, where like almost every level in the game will have like a large gameplay altering gimmick. And yeah, the gimmick this level is these little like handles that open these doors. And this is a cool little thing. So you see this thing up here and you think, well, obviously that means I want to toss Dixie up to it. But then you can't really reach, well, I mean, actually, now that I think about it, you can just do this. So you can reach the door. But it's like intended for you to just like fly over to it with Dixie. So you throw Kitty up there. But I mean, either way, it's cool that you can do both, I guess. But yeah. And I guess, unlike the second game, it's very rare. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure if there's any instances of this game where you get randomly transported to a different type of level. Like, the second game has a big thing with where it really likes bramble levels. But this game and the first game, I don't think really do that ever. Anyways, I think... no. It's very common. Like, you'll see me do, like, random jumps like that, where I'll just jump towards the wall like that, and it's like... it's very true that it's very common there's stuff like that, but a lot of times there isn't, so it's kind of just like, you just kind of troll around. I think there's something up here? Maybe not. There's also these, like, little, like, door things. If you jump down to them, you can fall through them, and it's, like, basically a shortcut if you fail. So an interesting thing about this game is that, unlike the first two games, there's no, like, there's no level in this game. I'll say this right now. There's no level in this game that's dedicated to blast barrels. And that's because, for some reason, I'm not sure why this is the case, but in this game, the blast barrels are actually slightly laggy. When you press the button, there's like it's not huge, but there's like a good like quarter to half second of, I would say quarter second is probably the best. But there's like a quarter second of like delay where it doesn't actually fire right away, and I'm not sure why. It's like some weird like thing with this game. I'm not sure why it happens, but because of that, they intentionally did not actually, they did not design any blast barrel levels, which is interesting because that's kind of like a mainstay of the series. But there just straight up aren't any in this game. So I guess that's the thing, yeah. I think is there something out here? No. I'm gonna say this right now. One of the things I really like about this game is that there are some really cool level archetypes. Like, this level is a mill, essentially. It's like a wood mill. Or I think it's like a couple of things, but it's a mill. That's what it's officially called. And it's like, to me, it's like really interesting because it's like, how many games have like a mill where you just like platform through? And there's, you know, like the standard, like there's 3 of them throughout the game. Well, technically there's 4, but there's like one of them's actually a boss level, which I guess is spoilers. Let me see something here. Now, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there's a green balloon up in that corner. I did not actually know that was there. I looked at a map and like I used a map to kind of review to make sure I'm not missing stuff. And I probably still did miss stuff because there's like I said, there's a lot of hidden items to find. So I'm floating down here because if you drop down here slowly, you'll notice we never actually found coin because he's right here. And if you open that thing, you can bash him open. What's kind of weird to me is look at these ropes here. For some reason, these ropes are darker in color than the rest of the level, and I'm not sure why. Anyways, let's roll down here, hang around to the right here, and you get another green balloon. So we already have a lot of lives, which is pretty, you know, cool. Already ran into Wrinkly again. So yeah, like I mentioned, saving this game is free, and unlike the first game and second games, because Funky doesn't have like an aircraft service anymore, once again, you can just freely leave worlds now. So because of that, unlike the first 2 games, there is never any moments in this game when you have to like tackle multiple levels in a row without saving. You can see we can swim around freely, which is pretty cool. And so if you don't like that aspect of the first 2 games where you have to do like a bunch of levels in a row without saving as like part of like a gauntlet challenge, then you'll probably like this game because of that. And I was gonna swim over here to Barnacle's Island. Barnacle's a pretty goofy looking dude. He's got like a little mustache and a corncob pipe. Got a banana bird in there. Barnacle's me name, and I've set up home here with me collection. He's got a shell collection. We could buy a shell back in Bazaar's shop, so you know, keep that in mind. Kind of swim over here. Now because I guess because the cliff, like the ground here is too steep, you can't climb up. Which is I guess their way of justifying that. You can actually swim under this bridge, and if you swim over here to this little beach, once again, new cave opens up. Smuggler's Cove. Let's go ahead and do our little tic-tac-toe Simon Says challenge. Y-A-Y-Y-X. Y-A-Y-Y-X. They start off harder than I remember. I remember the first one's only being 3, but I don't know why. Who knows? There's lots of little things I probably don't remember. Tidal Trouble. So we're back to the this is like a stilt village. It's really cool, like a little wooden stilt village, which I think is really cool. How often have you seen something like this in a video game? Oh crap. Alright, killed coin, because a little funny thing how coins at like the start the level, and that's the first time I get hit because this guy turned around like a jerk. I guess while we're here, let's talk about Kitty. So Kitty has this feature where you can jump off the water by rolling into it and jumping. That's not something the game ever explicitly tells you. And funny enough, because Wrinkly has the save as like her sole purpose now, and you don't like pay for tips anymore. I was about to do that. So like, there's never any like words that tell you about that. There is a secret that tells you about that, I guess, because like there's like a thing of bananas that like, goes into the ground. Let me see if I can get this thing while I'm here. Damn it. It's actually very tricky to do. Whoa. Because like the hitbox is surprisingly like tricky to do, you know what I mean? I'm just like fiddling around with this. Ah, damn, whatever. Just this guy's a jerk. Let's just get the G, O, letter, Kong alphabet. It's our enemy Kachaka. He's basically the replacement of the like barrel bobbing guys from the first game or the second game. Although unlike the second game, there's no TNT version. At least no land. Ah, fuck TNT version. I am hiccuping from drinking water. I hate my body. Whatever. We're Endguard. Kill our first Lurchin. Lurchins are an interesting enemy. They're actually a little tricky to deal with because when they close, if you try to hit them with Endguard, you'll actually get hurt. So you have to actually time hitting them when they're open. Wow. Which is, I guess, an interesting thing. There's a lot more interesting enemies in this game, I'd say, because of that. Let me go ahead and swim over here. So, in terms of movement speed, some people don't seem to think otherwise, but the reality is that unlike Diddy and Dixie in the second game and Diddy and Donkey in the first game, Dixie and Kitty actually move at the exact same speeds in this game. So there is no like movement advantage to playing as Dixie or Kitty. The main thing, obviously, though, is that Dixie has a smaller hitbox because Kitty's a lot bigger. All right. Yes. Okay. Good. That's where you actually learn how to do that trick. If you can actually fly over to that as Dixie, though, which is funny that they missed that. Because this game's really simple, you just jump over these dudes. However, I want to pause here just for a sec because I looked at a map and it included like the bonus areas, and this is something I did not know about this because I've never actually done this before. But if you drop off this rope, there's actually a barrel over here. And because of that barrel, I actually screwed up and did not complete the bonus. But thankfully, they're pretty generous with this, so you just break open here and you can jump into it again. Thank God, because it's actually a pretty tricky bonus to get to. Anyways, yeah. Dixie can fly just like the second game, and Kitty has Donkey Kong's thing. We can jump on certain larger enemies. Although, unlike the first game, there's only the one type of enemy they can actually do that to. So it doesn't come into play as often. Especially since both Diddy and Dixie can just kill him by throwing their partner at him. So it's especially not as big of an issue. Does this bird have anything? If you break it? Yeah, he has the bananas. So yeah, what I'm talking about is that if you jump and fly over here, you can in fact just make that normally. Which is funny that they missed that. I messed that one up royally, so let's turn around and just go under here. If you ever notice, the water here has a tide and actually like pushes you back. So yeah, that's the thing. Let's push that over. So there's another breakable floor here. If you toss Kitty into this hole, get an extra life right at the end. And that guy can fall down there and get stuck, which is funny. Oh wow, I finished every level as Dixie, so that's funny. So this is another new archetype. It's I guess more like akin to the first game, just straight up a snow level. And it's got like really nice music. That's something I'll talk about later. We've got a lot more of like a lived-in snow area kind of feel because there's like these houses that are like covered in snow. And you can see like that's the door right there, so it's like snowed in, which is pretty cool little detail. I know there's like one hidden item I remember that was like really hard to find. Oh, that was what I was thinking of actually. If you jump here, you get a coin for some reason. Like it's not very like it's very much in the way. I'm not sure why they even bothered, but whatever. And just like the first game, you notice that like it starts snowing heavily, and that'll eventually affect the foreground too, which is pretty cool. Anyways, we got a 7th coin, and we're on our way. So you may have noticed we're at 7 right now. Oh, that's funny. And we will eventually be at 8 by the time we finish this level. And this is kind of what I mean about I'm not sure if I said this right, but this game is a lot more, I guess, what's the term I'm thinking of? I forget, I said it a bunch when I was doing my port videos, but basically, it's a lot more, like, I guess straightforward, is how I'm gonna put it for now. Every level, well, not every level, but almost every level in this game has only 2 bonuses in it. So it's very rare that you're caught off guard by secrets and stuff. Because it's a lot more, I guess, in line with just like a standard game. There's none of the stuff that they pull in the first and second games, where there's like weird stuff like bonuses inside other bonuses, DK coins inside bonuses and stuff. A weird thing with this game, you notice I threw that barrel and it just hits the dude and breaks on contact. Because steel kegs are in this game again, I guess they figured they wanted to make them more powerful in comparison, so normal barrels actually just break now. And they don't continue rolling. And funny thing is that DK barrels also roll in this game now, unlike the first 2 games where they break on contact. I played as Dixie the whole level again. Dixie just flows so well. Like, Dixie's just such a fun character to use. I always use Dixie in the second game, too. So, it's funny, I'm like, oh, let's talk to Kitty, but, this level actually isn't going to let us use Kitty for very long, because when we get over here, we have now become our elephant pal, Ellie. And funny enough, because Ellie is an elephant, she's actually scared of rats. However, you notice we jumped on these rats just fine, and that's because apparently in the manual it states that Ellie has bad eyesight, I guess is a funny thing. And because this level is dark, Ellie can't normally see the rats. However, if we walk towards a rat that's in the light, Ellie will actually freak out and run away. So the trick with this level is that you have to actually deal with the rats under the lights from a distance. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. You notice that rat was in the light there. I'm actually... No, I'll go over here. There should be a barrel here, I believe. Oh, no, there isn't. And sometimes they make you do stuff like this where like the rat goes out of the light for a little bit, but then they expect you to like fight him. Oh. We pick up this barrel again. So let's head back, because I want to kill that rat from earlier. The one thing that's kind of funny is that, especially in the early stuff, there's a lot of green balloons in this game. And speaking of which, another green balloon right there. We already have 30 lives. We haven't even finished the first world yet. Like, there's a hell of a lot of lives in this game. So yeah, Ellie can suck barrels, and they really make you use this in this level. Case in point. Oh, whoops. Like, funny thing is, even though you can re-grab steel kegs, you can't re-grab wooden barrels, so you have to like sit there and wait. Whew. And we run into our pal Coin, and he's really easy to deal with in this level because he's just like right there. You just go right a little bit. That's one aspect of the game that people are... I'm not sure if there's like strong voiced about it, but a lot of people prefer the more hidden DK barrels or DK coins of the first or the second game. But personally, I've never had a problem with coin because like I think it's cool how like they managed to keep things fresh. Like they didn't just make DKC3 isn't just Donkey Kong Country 2, but more of the same, right? Like a lot of people criticize the game for being really weird and different, but it's like I think that's why I like it so much because it's still Donkey Kong Country, but they changed a lot of things to kind of, you know, keep it fresh, I guess is the best way to put it. So it's like similar like concepts of like learning, you know, the tricks of the game and like the like, but with still, you know, like in the Donkey Kong Country engine, but like with other things too. Anyways, we go over here to this invisible barrel. The game lags here when we roll that barrel. Let me see if I can, you can pick this up, I believe. Yeah, and kill this dude. There's no reason to, because there's nothing over here, but it's just funny you can. Heaven gets shot up into the heavens. This bonus game is just a couple hard jumps. Jump through like these rotating bees. And we get to the coin. Whoop-de-doo. Hey, I did the frame perfect input. If you jump, I don't think it's frame perfect, but it's like, if you jump at like the last couple frames before touching the coin, you will, like you saw, you will actually jump. And because of the way leaving bonus levels works in this game, it's actually, funny enough, as goofy as that looks, that's actually a speedrun strat because it's slightly faster to do that, which I always thought was funny. And there's this last dude here, we kill him by jumping on him out of the light. I forget if there's anything here, I don't think so. No, but I guess we can finish the level with Kitty. And yeah, we're already almost at the end of the first world. But before we do anything else, I'm actually going to backtrack and showcase all the things, well, I guess the warps that we have missed. Because just like the second game, the first two worlds all have a warp barrel hidden in them somewhere. And I forget where it is. I actually don't remember off the top of my head where it is in this level. I think it's just here. Yeah, there. It's right above the first pole. Takes you right to the end. So we'll kick out of that. Let's go to doorstop dash. I'm doing this now because I feel like it's just better paced. Because we can just kind of quickly review the levels we've played. For fun. Funsies, I guess. We only have to do this twice, right? Because only the first two worlds have warps. Yeah, we can grab a couple extra coins because those are really helpful to grab. The second warp is a little late into the level, but it's right here above this first little weird platform here. Takes you right to the end. Can you get the one-up tossing up here? No, you can't. So that's another thing. Actually, before we continue onward, since I have enough coins, let's actually head on back and grab the shell. Actually, should I save that for the end? You know, I think I will actually save that for the end because it'll be more convenient later on anyways. And honestly, I've never played the game like that. I always do everything as soon as possible, but it's like, why not? Let's do it all at once. Anyways, title trouble. I believe the warp in this level is when you get to the very first platform over here. Just toss right up here. I guess let's quickly grab an extra life while we're at it. Get out of here. Woo! We're already at 33 lives. That's a third of the way to max lives. Although, I say it, but I believe this game, just like the first two games, I've said that so many times this episode already, even though lives, the number doesn't go past 33, your lives do in fact save. Like, they do count up past 99, you just don't see it. But yeah, unlike the second game, the warp barrels in this game are not hidden off screen for the most part. They're actually like just typically just like, you know, like a weird corner. They do require team throw most of the time still, but sometimes they don't. And I believe, no, this is not one. And just like that, we're done. And yeah, you can see our pal Kitty is not afraid of no elephant. Anyways, yeah, so before we get to the boss down here, which there's like a funny little theme where the bosses all have like these angry faces. Like, there's no level tiles anymore. Instead, you've got like flags that indicate where levels are. But bosses don't have flags. They just, because the flags, funny enough, are actually used as like an indication of how many secrets you've gotten. If the color flag is raised, you have every bonus level in that, or every bonus game in that level. And if you have the yellow flag is raised, then you have the DK coin, which is a cool thing. And Belch's Barn, like the boss levels don't have that. Instead, every boss has like a little angry face on it. It's like you can see like you've got like this barn looking thing, and it's funny how it's just like he's got like a little angry face like eyebrows on it. And yeah, Swanky's in this game once again, and in this game, unlike the second game, instead of just having like a little, as he's saying here, instead of just having like a questionnaire, instead you pay 2 coins and you get to pick from one of 3 little bonus games. And funny enough, these bonus games are actually like a little like a challenge game. You have to basically throw balls at like little targets, and you have to compete against Cranky, who's here in this game. And as Cranky's mentioning, you have to beat him if you want prizes. Anyways, yeah, so basically, yeah, you just throw balls at these crumbling targets. The targets have a funny hitbox because of the way their sprite is designed up, or like, the sprite is set up. You'd think you'd have to hit the target, but you can hit like the face of the Kremling too because it's low enough that you can hit it. Yeah, and Cranky will throw a ball at you sometimes. Cranky actually has a ton of stuff he can do. Like, he can chase you out, he can make fun of you a bunch. And yeah, this bonus game is a great way to get extra stuff. Like, you saw I paid 2 coins and I got 4 coins in return. So you double your coins and you get almost halfway to an extra life, which is pretty cool. I'll be doing these, like, every time I get to one. I might as well do one because I won't spoil this now, but there's a good reason to do these even if you don't need the prizes, because it's good practice for something we'll see later on. Anyways, yeah, we're going to get to our first boss of the game, Belcha's Barn. You can see, like, you got, like, this fancy, like, bright red, well, it's not super bright red, but it's, like, a red palette, and you've got, like, the background that has, like, a blue background, like, dark things. So this is our first boss! Look at this guy, look at him. Let me check something here. Okay, so this guy does hurt us. I wasn't sure. Like, basically, the goal of this game is to throw these bugs into Belcha's mouth. And I've actually already won because I timed it perfectly. That's actually, like, a good trick. If you wait for him to shoot a second barrel out before you throw the first one in, you can double combo him really easily and you just, like, insta-win. So yeah, Belcha's a really interesting boss because he's basically he's basically like a tug of war. Because every time you fail to throw a bug or you wait too long, he'll jump forward. And when he jumps forward, he doesn't hurt you if he touches you, but you can see on like the left side of the screen there's like a pit. So if you mess up too many times, you just fall to your death. Which is, funny. I love laughing at death, haha. Anyways, let's grab our DK barrels so we can finish the game with Kitty in tow. And yeah, that's the first episode. It's funny, I didn't even get to like finish talking about like the most basic stuff because there's a lot to talk about with this game. But yeah, another random thing in this game, Wrinkly has 3 different states she can be in. She can be playing a game, she can be sleeping, or she can be doing exercise. And we can save our game here. We already have 13%. Lucky number 13. We have 5 DK coins, 11 bonus coins, and 2 banana birds, and 15 bear coins. And we've played for 21 minutes. You can also see a bunch of question mark boxes, 8 of them in fact, and 5 weirdly like shaped things over to the right of the banana birds. We'll see those like boxes get filled soon, but those cogs, I'm going to spell another cog. We don't actually see those cogs for a long time if you're playing through the game relatively normally. But yeah, anyways, that's about it for this part. So yeah, see you guys later.